Okay, so I am going to talk about the Liquify tool. The Liquify tool basically is similar to what you saw in Photoshop before we had our little computer crisis. So if you go over to Filter, if you go down to Liquify, one of the things though, it will start off where the screen's a little bit big. If it does, if you go Control minus, you can zoom out. Although if you like being in tight to your image, you Control plus can zoom you back in. So kind of again, find what makes you feel comfortable. Also, remember this is a brush, so you can use your bracket tools to make it. Left bracket will shrink it in, right bracket will expand it. So you can adjust the area that you're going to be kind of morphing. As with what you saw in Photoshop, you have which starts off, which is your smear tool, which allows you to kind of like stretch the pixels. So that is similar to what you saw in Photoshop. Although, if you are going to do reconstruct, one thing you do have to do is make sure that your threshold bubble or area you're going to do is bigger than what you kind of adjusted, and then hold the mouse, and then it will kind of put it back to kind of where it was, although it does take a little time. So that one is very similar. Below that, you have smoothen. This one, if you have a higher pixel image, it works nice. If your pixel image is like with this one is a little bit lower, it doesn't do a whole lot. It gives kind of that blur effect and kind of softens lines. I found it to be kind of lacking, but you can play with it. Below that, you have twirl. Twirl is the same as you saw in Photoshop, where you can take it and then it slowly twists the image. So similar to Photoshop. The main ones, though, you do have pucker and bloat. This are labeled as shrink and blow. So shrink will suck in the parts of the image. So you can take it if you want to and do your airbrushing where you kind of like suck in, pull to the side a little bit. It does respond a little bit slower than Photoshop did. So be aware it does take some time. Um, Below, again, is that one where it's going to expand. But as you see, it does take a little bit more time than Photoshop did. It also has a push to the left, which is fun if you want to just warp the image. But otherwise, I didn't really find much use for this one. So you can play around, see what you like. But the one thing to remember, if you get it where you want it, make sure you hit OK so it sets it. If you want to reset, the reset takes it all the way back to the beginning. So just a heads up.